Hello and welcome. You're with us here on BT Brainstorm. Today we're taking a closer look at the BT 500, the special issue that's now on stands and is a much awaited look at which companies are rising higher in the ranks and which ones are not. Joining us is the entire team that's really put this fabulous issue together. I've got Saurav Majumdar, the editor of Business Today magazine. I've got Alokesh Bhattacharya, the managing editor of Business Today magazine, Anand Adhikari, the managing editor, and Dilasha Seth, assistant editor. Thank you all for being with us. Saurav, Alokesh, why don't you set the tone first and share with us really the context, of the BT 500. Saurav, I know it's an issue that is much anticipated. It's an annual event, but particularly this year, give us a sense of really what went into it and, what were some of the major takeaways from the BT 500 this time around.
Yes, thank you, Abha. We know the context within which BT 500 is coming out this year. The markets are absolutely on a roll. New investors are thronging the markets. The stocks are taking new highs every day. In that background, the BT 500 is a particularly relevant issue because it talks about India's most valuable companies based on average market capitalization. And that's a broader, much more dependable metric because it takes into account average market cap rather than market cap per se. Now, I'll just tell you some of the interesting data which we found this year. Because the Sensex, the period in consideration is, of course, October 1st, 2020 to September 30, 2021. That is the period under consideration. And during that period, Abha, as we know, the markets have risen 55.32%. Okay, and indicative of that, the average, the total aggregate market value of the BT 500 companies has also gone up over 43%. So it's an average, it's a rise in market value sharply. Within that, of course, there are nuggets where, segments have taken a knock, etc., which we will go through during the course of this show. But the interesting part is there has been a significant upturn in the aggregate market value of the BT 500. And that's the very interesting part, which is a big takeaway this year as well. Of course, the top three, Reliance Industries, Tata Consultancy Services, and HDFC Bank remain where they are. Those are the three most valued companies in the BT 500. They're followed by Infosys and Hindustan Unilever in 4th and 5th position. There are two interesting entrants to the top 10, which is also something we can discuss, which is Bajaj Finance at number 9 and State Bank of India at number 10. Okay. So two big names from the BFSI sector come into the top 10 this year. Another interesting point I'd like to put forward before we start off the discussion. We started BT 500 in 1992. That year, Tata Steel was the topper, number one company, with market capitalization of 5,726 crore. This year, the topper, Reliance Industries, is valued at 14.048 lakh crore. Right. So we know, the distance the markets have traveled. So this is the broad context under which BT 500 comes in, and it must be, I hope the readers like this issue.
And just to add what Saurav said, Abha, the entire market cap of BT 500 companies is around 200 lakh crore, and the entire market cap of Bombay Stock Exchange is 270 lakh crore. Right. So almost 75% of the market cap was covered in our BT 500 issue.
That's fantastic. I love all these points of reference that you're sharing with us to really give us a sense of, the kind of insight that one will get from this issue in terms of the kind of companies that are creating value and wealth for investors. Alokesh, what was the methodology that you undertook this time while putting the issue and the list together?
So the methodology actually, like Saurav said, we started in 92 and the methodology has remained the same, right? It has always been average market capitalization and the time periods have varied at different parts of this 30-year journey. Initially, we had started with, a certain time, let's say 31st March was the market cap on that day. Then it came to a 3-month kind of period. Then it came to a fiscal year average market cap. And before, what we are doing now, we used to have 6-month market cap between April and September, right? So, but now our methodology takes into account the average of the daily market cap of the last 12 months, right? So, the running 12 months, that's from October to September. Basically, we have taken this around 3,500 companies which are actively traded on the 2 stock exchanges, and then we measured their daily average market cap, right? Daily market cap and averaged it out. Also, we left out companies that are not very heavily traded. So some companies, we give a benchmark kind of a cutoff of about 20% of the traded days, right? So there were about 240 or odd kind of traded days between in this period. Any company that did not trade for more than 20% of those number of days, they were not considered for this ranking. That which means that, like Anand said, 75% is covered. So most of the big companies are actually traded quite heavily in the markets. And so that is essentially our methodology. Yeah.
All right. Anand, while you mentioned some of the key additions in the BFSI space, you've also looked into what's fallen out of favor. Share that with us as well.
Sure, Abha. So, banking stock, if you see, they have a very important role, in the country's stock market. If you look at the Nifty or, BSE Sensex, 30% of the weightage of these, indices is banking stocks. Similarly, out of, 6 out of 10 stock, in our top 10 are banking stock, whether it's SDFC, BFSI, SDFC Limited, ICICI Bank, Saurabh mentioned about, SBI, Bajaj Finance. So banking stocks have a very important role to play in our market cap BT 500. Now, just to take you back, post 2008, if you see, earlier the credit was growing almost at 20% plus, and post, the global financial crisis, we have seen, credit falling to, almost half, 10% by 14-15, and then the AQR happened, this asset quality review, where a lot of hidden assets came out, from the banking sector, and when the banking companies entered the COVID crisis, the balance sheet was very weak. And in the large bank like SDFC, SBI, or the ICICI of the world, they managed to hold. But the smaller size banks, like RBL, Bandhan Bank, or the small finance banks, they took a hit because on the asset side because of a large unsecured book, especially the microfinance loan, personal loans, credit card. Similarly on the liability side, they had a higher reliance on wholesale deposits, and post the Yes Bank debacle. And the PMC, even the HNIs and the large investors, they have started withdrawing their money, from smaller banks. Yeah. And that's what, hit the mid-sized banks. So their ranking have gone down in our BT 500, list.
All right. But what's gone up is, of course, the IT pack. Dilasha, why don't you come in here and share with us some of the key highlights there?
Yeah, sure, Abha. So if you look at the BT 500 ranking, while TCS has remained at the second spot, the other 3 among the top 4 IT players have seen a significant improvement in their rankings. For instance, if you look at Infosys, it has moved up from the 6th position to the 4th position. Then HCL has climbed from a 15th position to the 12th. And Bangalore-based Wipro has gone up from the 19th to the 13th spot. And I think the year 2021, FY 21-22 is going to be another game changer for the IT sector, because there is an across-the-board digitalization drive that is there, and that's reflected in, there's evidence that can be seen in the double-digit growth forecast in terms of revenue that these companies are expecting. Then they have doubled their hiring targets for the fiscal to 160,000. The deal pipelines are overflowing, and the RBI data suggests that the services exports were at a 13-quarter high in the September quarter. So looking at all these things, I would say that while last year was great, the current fiscal is going to be even better for the IT players. And as TCS boss aptly put it, it is a once-in-a-decade opportunity for the sector.
Absolutely. Saurabh, where do the Adani group of companies fit in on the list?
Yes, the Adani group has also been a significant, upturn in the market. They've really, the entire pack, Adani pack, has gone up sharply and significantly. The India's second richest man and his group of companies. So that's been another story in the BT 500, which we've tracked as a separate story as well in this issue. So that's been definitely a big takeaway as well. And like Dilasha says, I think overall FY22, the way the trajectory of the economy is moving, many of these companies, many across sectors, are going to see better days ahead. And with the markets being where they are, I have a feeling that there'll be significant stories to tell in the next year's BT 500 as well.
And Abha, just to add what Saurav said about the Adani companies, and I was doing some analysis and I was looking at our the 500 issues. The kind of PE these companies are enjoying, and I'll just tell you, Adani Green, the PE is 5, 8, 9 times. Adani Enterprises is 242, 242 times. Adani Total 310 times, and Adani Port is 104 times. Absolutely. Now, if you see Sensex PE is 30 times. Reliance Industries, if I see 51 times, and you look at the kind of PE Adani companies are enjoying. So, very huge, expectation of investors, for the future growth. I think these are the companies to watch out, Saurav.
Also, it's tied to the whole, the green initiative of Adani, which is huge, humongous efforts on that front. The other stories around the Adani companies in the infrastructure side. So I think there is a buzz around the Adani group, which is playing out on the markets as well.
And Saurav, now Adani Wilmar is going to come out.
Wilmar coming up. Yes.
Right. And Abha, if you notice, just to continue on the Adani side, the top company of all the Adani companies in the BT 500 is Adani Green. Right. Which I think tells us a story of what the market is thinking about future potential. This is the green company that is at the top. It's at 23. If you look at the BT 50, the top 50 companies of the BT 500, see, we measure this ranking by the total absolute in terms of the average. We are not ranking them by growth. But if you look at growth numbers of market cap, right, in the top 50, the top 4 companies are Adani companies. Okay, the fastest growing company in market cap in this period was Adani Total Gas, whose market cap grew, guess how much? 446%. Wow. Right? Adani Enterprises grew 404%, Adani Green Energy grew 315%, and Adani Transmission grew 238%. So some outstanding numbers there.
Well, talking about new entrants, I mean, we focus so much on tech, but there have been a whole host of IPOs across sectors, and plenty of those have made the list as well, haven't they? Who'd like to jump in on that?
Yeah, well, there are about 28 newcomers in this year's list, which is sizable, even though you would like to see more. In terms of the newcomers, like from the e-commerce sector and all, they'll take at least the next year to come into the ranking, because Zomato, which was the first big one, right? Zomato did not trade for that benchmark 20% of the total number of traded days. So if you look at the market cap now, Zomato would probably rank in the top 50 when they come in, unless something dramatic happens by that time. So out of those 28 companies, Gland Pharma, the pharmaceutical company, which is the best performer, it's at 81. And then there's an infra company and others. So,
what about Tata Consumer Products? So that's the other one that you've looked at in great detail. Anand, Saurav, would you like to share a little bit more on why Tata Consumer continues to be a darling of the stock markets?
Tata Consumer, Abha, is a story in itself. After the consolidation of the businesses which has come under the Tata Consumer brand, I mean, consumer play is really the flavor of the month right now. So investors are loving what Tata Consumers is doing. Consolidating the businesses, sort of re-energizing many of the brands, leadership taking strategic calls on the future. So I think that story is Tata Consumer. In fact, it has grown 100% in terms of market cap. So I think there's a story there which has really played out, and we've done a separate story on Tata Consumer as well in this issue. Because I think what investors are valuing is the fact that there is a focus. There is a consolidation which the group has undertaken, and there is a strategic road ahead which is clear for shareholders. Shareholders love clarity. So I think that whole cleanup which has happened under the Tata Consumer brand is what investors are valuing.
And I think about there, just to add, tea, if you see tea part, and the salt was already there within Tata's, and they were doing very well. But I think things which the investor is going to watch out for is the pulses and the water and the other new businesses and the e-commerce part. They've also got the big basket. So these are the new things which, I think we want to see, scale happening going forward.
So how do you see the list shaping up? I mean, while there have been some significant takeaways this time itself, but everyone's curious from the point of view that markets have been riding on these, on this complete high for the last year. Do you see significant challenges going ahead? Are there certain segments that you feel will be more impacted? What do you feel will be the things to watch out for?
I think, overall, as we have discussed, the trajectory is on the upturn, right? I mean, there's a secular upturn in the markets, barring interim corrections, and we've discussed this in many of the shows over time. But I think one area which we need to keep a close watch on, of course, is the BFSI sector, particularly after the moratorium sort of plays out, and how banks are going to look at that. So while there has been a lot of cleaning up there, and Anand can discuss that in more detail, but I think that's one area we will need to keep a close watch on. And I think overall there are stories which are playing out, which I think the overall trajectory is looking fairly good. And also corporate confidence, business confidence is on a high. So I think that's looking fairly good for the markets as well.
Abha, if you see the Sensex, Nifty, or the BT 500 in the top 10, the higher weightage is BFSI, oil and gas because of Reliance, and the IT, TCS and all. Going forward, I mean, it will take time, but the new trend, if I see a Zomato or a Paytm tomorrow, Paytm will easily get a valuation of maybe 1.5 lakh crore, which is almost half of SBI, or maybe much higher than many mid-sized banks. Okay, look at Zomato, already getting a valuation of more than a lakh. Okay, look at DMart, on the modern retail, DMart valuation is almost close to ITC's valuation. Renewables, digital businesses, modern retail, and on the BFS side, you have all these Paytm, MobiKwik of the world. Maybe 3-5 years down the line, I see them as a big challenger, or maybe a top contender in the top 10 BT 500.
For the next year, I have a couple of question marks also. Of course, one is inflation, which we keep discussing. Rising commodity prices, how they will play out in terms of margin impact on the companies, how the companies will navigate those. Those will also be very critically looked at by shareholders, and that will impact valuations, and therefore the BT 500.
Just not to forget that in this, while we are all very positive about how the market has risen, we have to remember that this year, like Saurav said in the beginning, that the market cap of BT 500 has risen 43%. Whereas in the year 2000, the market cap grew 100%, right? And in 2004 and 2006, it grew 76% and 66% respectively. So we are actually not at the peak of what, of course, and the base was pretty much smaller at that time, right? Compared to what it is now. But there's still some way to go, we'd think. But yeah, the risks are there, like Saurav said.
Spoken like a true bull over there, Alokesh, in terms of the blue sky that we're all looking at right now. All right, I mean, just wanted to get, some closing comments from all of you. Clearly, Dilasha, you've highlighted how the IT space is definitely one to look out for. We've seen earnings, of course, continue to top expectations, given the digital trend that we are seeing, and the trend towards digitization is only going to continue now. Share with us any other takeaways before we wrap up on today's show.
Yeah, sure. So, like you said, that there's a digitalization drive that is going to continue. So that makes us more bullish about the IT sector. And in fact, I'll not be surprised if at least 2 more IT players come in the BT top 10 next year. Actually, the thing is that a lot of there's a structural change in the way businesses are operating globally. The traditional businesses are switching to online. They're moving online. For instance, retail or education, for instance, they're all your traditional offline businesses. But now, because of the pandemic, they are moving online. Similarly, your aviation, if you talk about airlines, globally, everybody is moving for contactless check-ins, even for hotels. So this is basically creating demand in newer areas of IT. For instance, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity. So these are the emerging areas in the IT sector, and that's the opportunity for the Indian IT players as well, and they are scaling up their supply in this segment. Now that's also the challenge for them, because of the high demand, there is high attrition rate. Attrition rate has in fact gone up from, if you talk about the average of top 4 IT players, that has increased from 12.5% in Q1 to 17% in Q2. And these specialized areas that I just spoke about, there is these are high cost areas, these are specialized areas. It's very difficult to get workforce or talent in this area. So unless colleges start producing more talent in these areas, I think supply side will remain a constraint, and that is also impacting the operating margins, by the way, of all these companies, which analysts expect to remain under pressure for the next at least 1.5 to 2 years from now.
All right.
So yes, like I said, the focus is the newer areas: cybersecurity, AI, machine learning, and cloud.
Fantastic. I mean, I was just taking another look at the issue, and PSUs. I mean, since we're talking about new areas, what about the old sort of? Where does the old economy figure on this?
I think the old economy pretty much, if you see the top, sectors which are contributing, that is, there is oil and gas, which is very much there in the major contributing. So there are a lot of PSUs there. I think PSUs are also realizing, I mean, looking at an overall picture here of the economy, the PSUs have also realized the way to, the road ahead has to be like Dilasha mentioned. A lot of these companies, including public sector organizations, are looking at, sort of rationalization of their strategies, looking at digitization and stuff like that. And remember, I mean, next year, hopefully by this time, we'll be discussing also the advent of LIC in the markets.
Exactly.
So that's one PSU which the markets are waiting for with bated breath. And I can tell you that's going to be an event to look out for and definitely play a role going forward.
Just to add to what Saurav is saying, on the old economy, if you look at, like he mentioned in the beginning, Tata Steel was number 1 in 1992, right? It was with a market cap of 5,700 crore. If you look at Tata Steel in this year's ranking, it's at number 32, and its MCAP has grown 143% in the last 1 year, and it has crossed 1 lakh crore in market cap, which means that the old economy companies with sound fundamentals are still doing very well. Right, just like, because they, as well as banks, like Anand said, that there are so many banks in this year's top 10, 6 BFSI companies are in the top 10. It's the highest ever in the 30 years of our ranking.
Right.
It is the highest ever. Last year we had 5. This year we have 6 companies of the top 10 from BFSI. And Bajaj Finance is a new entrant. So BFSI, on the back of digitalization and the IT spends that are happening, really are the things that are going to rock this thing. Also, if you remember that IT in India really took off in the year 2000, right? When the Y2K problem happened. And if you look at the BT 500 ranking of 2001, that was the first year when an IT company became number 1, right? And that was Wipro. And Infosys was at number 3 in that year. And HCL was also in the top 10. Thereafter, the IT companies really dominated the top rankings for several years before the banks came in. And it's only now that Infosys, with 80% increase in its market cap in the last 1 year, that it has come back to the top 5 after 5 years. So you can expect that to continue.
So I think BFSI and IT, like Alokesh mentioned, I think these are the two themes which will continue to play out, Abha, going forward in the markets as more and more interplay of these two segments like IT and banks getting into getting more and more tech savvy and various other demand plays for IT companies as companies digitize more and more. So I think these two themes very much going to contribute to future BT 500 issues as well.
And Abha, you asked about the the PSU side, with SBI at the 10th, and I was looking at the list. Then you have Maruti again, where Suzuki is the majority partner at the 15th. Then you have ONGC, Power Grid, NTPC, and Indian Oil and all. I think market is looking for a clear-cut, divestment, policy from the government. Many times we see some small dilution, and then again. Another dilution comes. I think they need some certainty there. How either it should be a complete, sellout, or if it's like piecemeal kind. I think that brings a lot of uncertainty.
Sure.
And SBI being there at the 10th, so you just look at the kind of super app they came out. That we can see only from SBI. So they are there at the 10th spot. But the rest of the PSUs, I think, are down below.
Gentlemen, and Dilasha, we're completely out of time, but thank you all so much for joining us and taking us through some of the highlights of what's been an extremely revelatory issue. Lots of interesting themes, to keep track of going forward as well. That's all from us on the show today. Thanks so much for watching.